So I want to first and foremost thank anyone who watches any of my YouTube videos, anyone who comments, anyone who gives me feedback, anyone who just personally lets me know that a video of mine has helped them, because that's really why I do this. I appreciate that. But I wanted to take a minute and make a YouTube video really quickly, just about the transitioning process of a trans woman and just the depression that comes along with it, because there are a lot of people who will glorify being trans or give some type of narrative about a trans woman or a trans lifestyle, and it could be completely false, i.e. meaning there are so many individuals who look up to YouTubers or just people who are in higher statuses, and we are in, how can I put it? Excuse me. We are infatuated with these individuals, their lifestyles, and how they were able to come to who they are. And I want to first and foremost let anyone knows who watches anyone, including myself, but who watches anyone and feels as if they want their lifestyle or a part of their lifestyle. First and foremost, as trans individuals, understand the fact that you don't know what someone has been through or what someone has experienced in order to gain the things that they have. There are some people who have worked their ass off for the things that they have, the materialistic things, the lifestyles, whatever the case may be. But there are also some people who have taken easy routes to get to certain experiences or certain moments in life, and they'll feed you an entire story on how to do it, but they won't tell you the dangers that they had to go through in order to achieve such things. They won't tell you the things that they've done, the people they've screwed over, or themselves screwing themselves over, or just putting themselves in peculiar situations that just isn't favorable. And just because someone is able to overcome a situation or make it out of a situation and get to a certain place in life doesn't mean that the next person will. So I always want to be transparent and let everyone know, do not get too attached to someone's life story or life experience, and expect that yours can go the same way. That's first things first. Now, I always say this: I'm no one's mother, I'm not your father, I'm not your blood sister, I'm not your blood sibling, I'm not any of those. I'm just someone who just likes to talk and give advice, right? So as someone, let me just start off by saying, I myself, as we all know, as a trans woman, I myself dealt with hormones. I myself have been off of hormones for about a year now. I've been off of hormones for about a year. So I can understand the start, the middle, and the end of a trans woman wanting to transition, and just the fear that goes through one's existence in order to just live freely. First thing first, to anyone who watches my video who is trans and who is beginning their transition process, I want to say congratulations to you. Congratulations on making that first step in acceptance of yourself. It's very hard to accept oneself when oneself isn't considered normal. It's already very hard to accept yourself as someone who is attracted to or likes the same sex. It's even harder to accept yourself for being something completely different, completely unnormal, completely away from what society tells you you should be. So congratulations for taking that first step in accepting yourself, and appreciating yourself and loving yourself, or just giving yourself the time and existence to find and sit with yourself to discover who you really are. That takes when starting hormones or starting your transition, there are a few ways that you can go about doing things. Now, a lot of people just end up, starting things off doing, how can I put this? A lot of individuals cross-dress in order when they begin their transition. A lot of people aren't really too keen on hormones, or a lot of people don't have the resources and or the guidance in order to obtain hormones. And to those of you, I want to tell you that it is perfectly okay to start off small and work your way up. First of all, let me just say this. I knew I was trans when I was 18 years old in high school. That was when I first started putting hair on. That was when I first just started showing up and trying to find myself. And that was in 2011. It's 2021, and I say this all the time. 3 years ago was when I really just made the stamp of approval that I'm not going to switch back and forth between trans and a normal life existence. I'm going to live my life fully as a trans woman because that's what resonated with me. And that's what I always went back to. That's what my heart was calling to. And it really was one of the greatest decisions I ever made for myself, because I then began to live for myself. But the very beginning, initial stage of me becoming trans was very difficult. It involved a lot of ugliness. It involved me having to shift my mind away from what I looked like and shift my mind into believing what I could exist as, and also accepting where I was at that point in time. And trans women do not understand the fact of acceptance of one's life circumstance and where they are. You have to accept who you are, where you are in life at this point in time. If you cannot accept where you are in life, then change where you are. If you can't change where you are in life, then there's only one choice left to do: accept it. You can either accept it, change it, or make moves in order to put yourself in alignment to where it is that you want to be. But no matter what, you have to have acceptance for where you are, unless you can change it. And so many of us start off in our transitions feeling, looking, and believing certain things. We aren't good enough. We aren't pretty enough. Love isn't going to be for us. Will we be able to overcome our own fears and anxieties in order to achieve freedom within ourselves? And I want to inform any and every single last one of you, as long as you put the work in towards yourself, and when I say put the work in towards yourself, I mean continuously love yourself, continuously uplift yourself, continuously believe in yourself, and continuously put in that physical work into making yourself who it is that you want to be. You can achieve all of it. Now, we all know that transitioning comes with a lot of loss. It comes with the loss of relationships, family, friends, partners, if you have partners. It just comes with a lot of loss, and I want any and everyone to take away from an experience. If you are transitioning right now, you are facing loss, and you don't just necessarily have to apply this to just a trans experience where you are transitioning. You should just apply this to your life in general. If you are experiencing loss in the form of individuals, if you are experiencing loss in the form of, your job let you go, or just something isn't working out for you, understand that rejection is God protection, number one, and you are being guided into something that is for you. You are being guided to people that are for you. If people walk away from you because you decide to transition and or live in your truth, then that's their loss. I always like to say that what's for you is for you, and that goes with people too. You can't force someone to accept you. You can't force someone to accept your lifestyle choices. You can't even force someone to love you, let alone deal with you and you wanting to transition. So if someone feels as if they don't want to deal with you based off of the choices that you make that's going to make you happy, let them go. Grieve those individuals as you should, because they were individuals who were there for you at one point in time in your life. Grieve those individuals, but let them go. It's nothing worse than hanging on to someone who A, doesn't want to be around, B, isn't for you, or C, does not see your value and or worth. You have to A, love yourself. You have to B, see your worth. And you have to, well, I said A, B, whatever, I don't know, but you have to see yourself, love yourself, just do those things and make yourself the main priority in your life experience. Suicide prevention hotlines are everywhere, and even though they don't seem credible, they actually can help. For many of us transitioning, it is a very lonely experience. We are giving ourselves shots by ourselves. We are learning how to feminize ourselves by ourselves. We are just learning an entire new world in our existence alone without the help and our support. If you can find support, that is great. There are plenty of trans support groups. There's also LGBTQ support groups. There are just support groups all around where you can speak with someone about your experiences and what you're going through mentally. You don't have to do this battle alone. That's only by choice. And I say that because I myself walked this road alone, and that was by choice. I had plenty of trans women who offered support, who offered to be there, but I chose to do it by myself. And it was a very difficult journey, but it was one that I had to do by myself. Not everyone has to do things by themselves. So if you are someone who does not have to do it alone, go out there and find support, find help, so that you aren't battling demons within yourself telling you that you aren't good enough, telling you that you don't look good enough, telling you that you're stupid, and telling you that you're going to fail, or just giving you that thought of fear that you won't be successful at who you want to be. And if you are someone who is willing to do it alone, know what it comes with. Know that it comes with being alone. Know that it comes with having to cry to yourself, having to uplift yourself, having to literally pull yourself out of a dark place in order to achieve peace within oneself. And you will achieve it. Trust me, you'll achieve it. I'm telling you now. God is my fucking witness, right hand to the creator. You achieve so much peace within yourself when you stop needing and or wanting outside validation. Being trans isn't, no one can tell you how to be trans. People can show you, but no one can tell you how to be transgender. You understand what I'm saying when I say that? No one can tell you how to be the authentically individual that you are trying to become. So you shouldn't allow anyone who has walked a certain lifestyle choice or who is in a completely different set of shoes, you shouldn't let their opinion or their lifestyle validate you and or make you feel like you won't be able to accomplish those things. And I say that because there are so many of us. I'm a black trans woman, and the only trans women that are primarily put out there are white trans women, and we don't have the same experiences. Just like black people and white people. I'm just gonna be completely honest, and I don't mean to say this in a negative way. My experiences will never be the same as someone who doesn't know what it's like to be held back, to be hated just based off of the color of their skin, to be put in a, my storage is running low, I'm sorry, like I got notifications, but pretty much just to put a wrap up on this, my experiences will not be the same as someone who does not have the same color as me or who has not walked the same life experiences as me. We all know this. We all know that individuals like myself are put in positions where we aren't allowed to succeed. Just because you are put in a position where you aren't allowed to succeed does not mean that you can't and that you won't. It's based off of what you believe and how you perceive yourself. So give yourself that option to always be choosing, to know that you are way more deserving than what you're giving yourself, to know that you create your own life and that no one's life experience, no one's life story, no one's life can alter yours in a way unless you allow it. Give yourself that option to love yourself, appreciate yourself, be kind to yourself, find help, talk to someone. Just make sure that you are doing the things that you need to do to know that whatever mental depression, whatever mental setbacks that's making you feel like you aren't good enough, do what it is that you need to do so that you can overstand the fact that you are more than good enough. Man, you are deserving.